Hey, Pete Ramsey here. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the exact steps that you need to take and what you need to focus on in order to make the right choice for your heating and air conditioning contractor, no matter what your budget. First of all, there's a lot of clutter out there. There's promos, there's specials, there's deals, okay? There's a lot of confusion. Now, the stuff that we want to focus in on is the very things that are going to affect you in your finances. And the bottom line is, in today's economy, we really don't want to make a mistake. In pursuit of our good deal, we don't want to risk certain things like doing business with a contractor that's not licensed, for example, doesn't carry insurance, doesn't have service after the sale, because this is one of those purchases that once you make them, you're stuck with it and you're going to have to live with it. Price has generally and historically been a good indicator for us in the past on how to make a good purchase. It has served us well in plug-and-play type purchases, like with a television, a car, or an appliance that you buy and you just plug in at the house and it works. But price has never worked as a good indicator of quality in terms of services, skills, and the trades. It never has and it never will. Now let me illustrate. Let's say, God forbid, somebody in your family is sick, really sick, and they have a potentially dangerous surgery that is going to be required. How would you choose your doctor? Would you go with that special in the newspaper? Well, of course not. What about a doctor that is a very smooth talker or extremely confident in his abilities? Is that enough for you? Of course not. You're going to look for the best. You're going to check references. You're going to want to know what his success records are and how many of those particular procedures, that particular surgery, he has actually performed. You're going to look for every reason to use or not to use that particular doctor. Why? The answer is obvious. Surgery is just too important a decision to allow just anyone to perform, even if that someone is a quote-unquote professional. We're not talking life or death with your heating and air conditioning choice. However, let's not discount the importance of that decision and how this same formula can service you in choosing your heating and air conditioning contractor too. So let's look at price. If you want to be sorry for your choice, choose a contractor based solely on the price of service or installation of that new equipment. Now, it works on both ends of the spectrum. Let's take service, for example. A free service call on one end is awful tempting. On the other hand, the contractor says it'll be $200-300 just to show up. That can put us off a little bit. Same thing with heating and air conditioning equipment. When you see that special in the newspaper for $1,900 installed versus the company that comes out and they want to charge you a $15,000 mega comfort system. Somewhere in the middle, you're going to find the right system for you. Now, when you're dealing with a salesperson, you really want to do business with more of a true comfort advisor, and you'll recognize this person because they're going to be very informative. They're going to walk you through individual or unique situations with your home, your equipment, your application. And if you've had other contractors out there giving you quotes already, you're going to find yourself saying, the other companies didn't tell me about this. That's a good indicator of the type of quality that you're going to get with this particular company. And the other thing that you really want to avoid is anybody that pressures you in any way to do business with them. Things like, buy today or lose out on this special somehow. The other less obvious one, and this is probably more prominent, is that overconfident, undercompetent mechanic type. You know the guy. He comes out, he looks the part, he says the right verbiage. I've been doing this for 20 years and I can do this for half the price of that other company. Okay? He usually sounds too good to be true because he is too good to be true. And the problem is he thinks he does a good job, and that's where it really comes through. But when problems arise, and they will, it's never his fault. It's always the equipment's fault, the manufacturer's fault, it's a piece of junk brand, for example, or maybe your fault because you don't know how to operate the equipment properly. It's never his fault. And eventually, he will quit coming back out to help you out. There's certain signs that are there with quality companies. First of all, you can do your research online on websites like Angie's List, and you can find what type of a reputation that your particular contractor that you're looking at happens to have. They'll generally be members of some type of organization like the Better Business Bureau and what have you. Now, this may seem obvious, but so many of us don't even look at these things when we're selecting our contractor. They will be licensed. Typically, they'll have proof of insurance and whatnot. Now, one other indicator that you may want to consider is the branding. If they sell a particular brand and they are a special special dealer within that brand. For example, Trane has something called a comfort specialist. That's a special Trane dealer. Carrier has the factory authorized dealer. York has the certified comfort expert. And most of the manufacturers have this badged dealer. Now, that doesn't necessarily in of itself indicate that this contractor is better than those around him, but it does indicate that the brand has enough confidence in this dealer to allow them to wear that badge and to participate in that particular program. So what size company is best? We all tend to gravitate towards that small company because we recognize that he doesn't have overhead and he can generally do things a little less expensive. But service after the sale comes difficult when you're dealing with these types of companies, and we tend to run into that mechanic that is overcompetent and undercompetent many times. On the other end of the spectrum is the large mega company, though there are many individuals who will gravitate in this direction because they don't want to run the risk, and quite frankly they're willing to pay a little bit more to not have to worry about it and to give them that peace of mind. But when you deal with mega companies, a lot of times the quality of the craftsmanship can be sacrificed to some degree if the supervision and training isn't in place for that organization. And then, of course, right down the middle is your mid-sized, family-owned and operated company. These companies are generally big enough to give you good service because they take turns being on call, and then they're small enough to keep their overhead down as well. So this is often a good choice for many individuals. So the bottom line is you want a company that's going to give you fair upfront pricing. We don't want any surprises. And that pricing will be either not too low but not too high, somewhere in that mid-range, and it'll generally be worth every dime. Now, a quality company is going to be visible. They're going to have a website. They're going to do advertising. Their vehicles will be lettered. They'll be uniformed. These are the companies that are proud of who they are, and they're out there. Okay, they're not hiding behind unmarked vehicles and working out of the back of the pickup truck or garage. Okay, so this is a good indicator of a quality company. They will also stand behind their work with solid warranties and guarantees. Their representatives will be competent. They'll be well trained. Their technicians will be experienced. They'll be able to communicate with you. And the installation estimators, should you need new equipment, are going to be very proficient as well. They will educate you on all the details of what they're looking at and what they're recommending and why. Service after the sale is going to be very important. An excellent reputation with years of service experience is going to be important to you as well. And then a good mindset and philosophy of getting it right the first time and with a passionate follow-up in the event that they don't. If you choose this type of contractor, you will get the best deal. Your work will be properly done. You will enjoy peace of mind because you will be saving money in the long term. Even if that upfront cost is a little more, you will save through lower utility bills, fewer breakdowns, and a longer equipment life because it was properly applied, properly installed, and it was properly selected for you. The end result, of course, will be a more comfortable home. So this message was proudly brought to you by Air Today Contractors of South Florida. If you are in the South Florida area, consider us for your air conditioning needs. We're home of the $39 no obligation diagnostic charge. We offer equipment with lifetime warranties. We are family owned and operated. We've got 30 plus years of experience, and we do offer 24-hour service 7 days a week. Give us a look up on the internet at www.airtodaycontractors.com or .info. Don't worry, help is on the way. If you want Air Today, then give us a call at Air Today. Proudly serving Palm Beach, Broward, and Dade counties.